Hello, folks, and welcome to the narrative. Today we take a look at the Ein Avdat. The Ein Avdat or Ein Avdat is a canyon in the Negev Desert of Israel, south of Kibbutz Sde Boker. Archaeological evidence shows that Ein Avdat was inhabited by Nabateans and Catholic monks. Numerous springs at the southern opening of the canyon empty into deep pools in a series of waterfalls. Etymologically speaking, Ein in Hebrew means spring or source of water, whereas Avdat derives from the nearby city of Avdat that stood south of the canyon. Avdat was named after the Nabatean king Obodas I, who, according to tradition, was buried there. Antiquity has it that during the Hellenistic period, Avdat became a station along the Nabatean incense route, an ancient trading route from Egypt to India through the Arabian Peninsula. Agriculture developed during the early Roman era. Forts along the incense route developed into thriving cities with many public buildings and farms. In the Byzantine period, Ein Avdat was inhabited by monks who lived in caves. They carved out closets, shelves, benches, stairs, and water systems, as well as decorated the walls of the caves with crosses and prayers. UNESCO, the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, recognizes Avdat as a heritage site in part because of the uniqueness of the magnificent Byzantine Church. After the Muslim conquest of Palestine, the region was abandoned. In the modern era, we find that after the establishment of Kibbutz Sde Boker in 1952 and the construction of Highway 40 to Eilat, a hiking trail was created. Ein Avdat was designated as a national park of Israel. In terms of geography of the place, we can say that the canyon of Ein Avdat is a part of the Nahal Zin, the largest wadi or dry riverbed in the Negev. The 120-kilometer long riverbed begins at the northwestern tip of the Maktesh Ramon and heads north before veering sharply eastwards. Ein Avdat was created by erosion. There are many springs to be found here. The southernmost spring is Ein Marif, featuring a series of waterfalls and pools. A Byzantine fortress overlooks the spring and adjacent agricultural land. Further north is Ein Avdat, a 15-meter high waterfall that flows into an 8-meter deep pool of water divided by small artificial dam. Located near the northern entrance of the park is a spring called Ein Mor, named for the spice myrrh. Growing around the springs are poplar trees and Atriplexes, commonly known as saltbush, which grows on riverbanks and can tolerate salinity. In terms of the climate, according to statistics compiled by the weather station at Sde Boker, the summers are hot with almost no precipitation, while the winters are cold with some amount of rain. The lowest recorded temperature for January was minus 3.6 degrees. In the summer, temperatures can reach over 40 degrees. The humidity is relatively high. One of the things that's great about Ein Avdat is that it's a hike for all skill levels. There's a short trail for those who just want to see the reflective pools that make Ein Avdat famous. On the other hand, there's also a long and steep one-way trail for more adventurous hikers. And there's an in-between hike that's perfect for families with kids or anyone looking for an easy walk in an incredible place. The entrance to Ein Avdat is near Sde Boker, Ben Gurion's desert home and burial place. It's a national park, so when you enter, you stop at the gate to show the park card, which then gives you free entrance to all the national parks in the country. Since Ein Avdat is a national park, it's clean and well maintained with facilities and parking space. One can start the hike along the Blue Trail, which takes you the whole way out and back, and then immediately you are taken aback by the unusual natural beauty all around. Giant walls of white rock can be seen all around. A gentle spring can be seen bubbling at the bottom. One of the most incredible features was the variety of nature that can be found in such a small area. After a few minutes' walk, one reaches a large cave, silent except for the sound of birds chirping as they swoop from one rocky cliff to another. It is said that griffon vultures often come there, but today there was no vulture to be seen. At the waterfall, one notices that the waterfall pours down through a wide canyon, forming large reflective pool of water. Golden mountains lay in the sun rays in the distance above the falls, and a long strip of chalk colored rock divides the pool, creating a walkway for getting closer to it. It makes a great spot for taking pictures. After hanging out at the waterfall for a little while, one can decide to head up the stone cut staircase for the next part of the hike. The staircase is narrow, but it's no problem as there are handles along the way which help you to hold and climb the staircase. The upper part of the trail presents an entirely new viewpoint of Ein Avdat. One can get different perspectives of the magnificence of a canyon waterfall. And now, you can enjoy the remaining part of the hike. So this brings us to the end of yet another episode of the narrative. Do like and share the video, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And yes, if you have any comments, do feel free to write them in the comment section.